Hi, if you've ever thought about freelancing or consulting, but immediately thought, I can't quit my job, or that feels way too risky, or I'm not ready, or any excuse that you keep coming up with, you're not wrong for thinking that. Most people assume consulting starts with a huge leap. You quit your job, you start a business, you make it official before you've even tested anything. That is not how I started. And it's not how I recommend starting, especially if you're somebody that's over 40, 45, 50, or thinking about it as a second career in midlife and you want stability. And I guess that's the key. Consulting doesn't start with quitting, it starts with testing. So, in this video, I'm going to walk you through 3 practical ways to start consulting without quitting your job. And I'll give you real examples under each one so you can actually picture what this looks like in real life. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, number one, start by solving one clear problem. So, the first way to start consulting without quitting your job is to stop thinking about consulting as a business and start thinking about it as one clear problem that you already know how to solve. You don't need a niche statement right away. You don't need a brand. You don't need a website. You need one problem and one outcome. So, example, I'll use myself as an example. So, I do human resources consulting. So if you're in HR, maybe people always come to you with questions about compliance or performance issues or HR advice, or maybe you're great at doing employee handbooks. So that doesn't mean you need to offer full HR consulting. It could simply be I help small businesses clean up their employee handbooks. Another example, if you're in finance, maybe people always ask you to explain budgets or cash flow. That could turn into I help small business owners understand their numbers so they can make better decisions. One more example, if you're in operations, or maybe you're a project manager, maybe you're a person who fixes messy processes and you're really good at that. That could look like I help businesses streamline one broken workflow. Early consulting almost always starts smaller than people think. Early on, I wasn't calling myself a consultant. I was just helping people with things I already knew how to do. So, one problem, one outcome, and that's enough to start. Number two, use your existing network before you try to start marketing yourself. So, the second way to start consulting without quitting your job is to look at your existing network. This is where most people overthink things. And I think I did a little bit of this too when I started. So people start thinking, I need clients, which turns into, I need a website now, which turns into, I need more social media, which gets too overwhelming. And then it just turns into nothing. So your first consulting opportunities will usually come from people who already know you and they trust you. That's how it started for me. So, an example, maybe a former coworker who you know from the past and who knows your work, a past boss who moved to another company and needs your help, a vendor you worked with who knows your skill set. Another example, say you're an HR professional like me, a bookkeeper or accountant you already know may ask you, "Hey, my client needs HR work, do you do that, or would you be interested in taking on this project on the side?" That's how consulting work usually shows up, especially at the beginning. Another example is you can mention casually in a conversation, I've been helping a few businesses with this on the side. And someone responds, "Oh, I might need that." This doesn't require a huge announcement on LinkedIn or a huge email. It doesn't require a posting that you're officially consulting. It's usually quiet and rational, and it usually starts with one conversation. Most people get their first consulting work because someone says, I know someone who could use your help. Number three, treat consulting like a test, not a decision. The third way to start consulting without quitting your job is to treat it like a test, not a life decision. You're not deciding your forever career, you're gathering information. Example, you take on one short project to see how it feels. You help one client for a few months. You try a small retainer that fits into your evenings or weekends. This phase isn't about growth, it's about clarity. Another example, you might realize you love the work, but only in small doses, or you love the work, but only with certain types of clients, or you enjoy consulting more than you ever expected. That was me. I absolutely just fell in love with it. Every experience teaches you something. Do you like working directly with clients? Does this energize you or drain you? Does it fit into your life right now? You don't need a 5-year plan. You need data. The path doesn't become clear before you start, it becomes clear because you start. All right. So there you have it. You don't need to quit your job to start consulting. You need permission to start small. And that permission is coming from yourself. So you just want to use what you already know and let yourself explore without pressure, especially if you're in your late 40s and beyond and thinking about a second chapter in your life. This is one of the safest ways that you can create change without blowing up your entire life. If this video helped you see your experience differently, that's great. I'm happy. And if this is the kind of conversation you want more of, please like and subscribe because that's what this channel is all about. See you in the next video.